Supreme Court dismisses appeal filed by the PDP challenging nomination of Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima. President Buhari confers national honors on President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima. And FCT Police Command deploys human and material resources ahead of the forthcoming presidential inauguration. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the news. We are behind schedule owing to the live telecast. The Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal filed by the People's Democratic Party challenging the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima. The five-man panel of the Apex Court, headed by Justice John Okoro, gave the order in Abuja. In an unanimous judgment read by Justice Adamu Jero, the Apex Court described the appeal by PDP as frivolous and gross abuse of court processes. The court was of the view that with the withdrawal of Kashim Shettima as a senatorial candidate of APC in Borno State on 6 July 2022, Shettima's nomination as vice presidential candidate of APC could not be termed as double nomination as enshrined in Section 35 of the Electoral Act 2022. The Apex Court maintained that the appellant lacked local standing to institute the case and as such a meddlesome interloper in affairs of APC on its nomination. The Supreme Court upheld the decision of the Court of Appeal and dismissed the appeal of the PDP with cost. President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima were Thursday conferred with the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Grand Commander of the Niger, President Muhammadu Buhari, while performing the investiture, urged the duo to continue serving the people with greater commitment and dedication in advancing Nigeria's democracy and development. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
With authority vested in me as President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I have conferred the national honors of GCFR on His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu and that of GCON on His Excellency Kashim Shettima, respectively.
The conferment of the highest national honor is in accordance with the tradition of honoring all Nigerian presidents and vice presidents. This is also in line with the National Honors Act of 2004. President Muhammadu Buhari is conferring same on President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima.
As we celebrate this auspicious occasion, let us not forget the immense responsibility that comes with leadership. The challenges facing our nation are significant, and it is the duty of the President and the Vice President to address them with courage, wisdom, and compassion. We must remain committed to the principles of good governance, transparency, and accountability, as these are the foundations upon which our nation's progress and development rely.
The second component of the ceremony is a formal handing over of transition documents and the transfer of a symbolic baton of service to the incoming president. And President Buhari says he is handing over the management of the country in good hands.
We just witnessed the transfer of a baton of service from me to President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu as part of a symbolic handover for him to continue with the race of advancing our democracy and development.
Your devotion to progressive and democratic governance is unassailable. I stand here today renewed in hope and dedication to our national greatness. I also feel full of pride that This moment is our moment, and I know what it represents.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, gave an overview of the achievements of the outgoing administration. Well, he is a man with great vision who sees a clear future of renewed hope, unity, justice, and prosperity for the people, and a man with a deep desire to serve the nation. He is today being conferred with the highest honor of the land, the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. From the banquet hall of the State House, it's Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And talking security now, the Department of State Services says it is aware of the plans by subversive elements to disrupt the handing over program in parts of the country. A statement by DSS spokesperson Dr. Peter Funaya says the aim is to undermine security agencies' efforts at ensuring peaceful ceremonies, as well as creating panic and fear among members of the public. The service enjoins citizens, the media, and civil society organizations to adhere strictly to security and civil protocols during the event, while urging the public to shun fake news and false alarms. Similarly, all unauthorized persons are warned to stay away from restricted and certain designated areas at the event venues. Meanwhile, consequent to the forthcoming 2023 presidential inauguration scheduled for May 29th, the FCT Police Command has deployed human and material resources across the nooks and crannies of the Federal Capital Territory to ensure a safe and peaceful inauguration. The deployment, which consists of all intelligence and tactical assets to the command's disposal, solidified with interagency collaboration, is born out of the need to ensure a peaceful atmosphere during the inauguration and to avert any form of threat on the nation's democratic process. The strategic operational deployment is characterized by visibility policing across the territory, stop and search duty, intelligence-led raids on black spots, surveillance, vehicle and foot patrol, and subdiversion at strategic points, namely Goodluck Jonathan Expressway by Court of Appeal, Deeper Life Junction, Bond Total Filling Station, Power FCDA Junction, Finance Junction by ECOWAS and Women Affairs, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Eagle Square Phase 1 and 2, Kuru Mohammed Way National Mosque, Abia House, Nitel Junction by Ademola Adetokunbo, Ghana Junction by Transcorp, Bayelsa House by Federal High Court, Aso Drive, Sedi Plaza, NNPC, Twin Towers, NNPC, MPC, and the CP equally wishes to notify the public of the proposed fireworks scheduled to take place on the eve of the inauguration, being midnight of 28 May 2023 at the City Gate and the Millennium Tower to usher in the new administration. The fireworks will be carried out by Messrs. Innate Art and Media, the Commissioner of Police FCT CP Haruna Garba, PSC, while briefing senior officers from all units and formations of the command on the operation order, charged the officers to ensure that attention is paid to details as they discharge their duties in tandem with the global best practices and respect for fundamental human rights. He equally called for vigilance and urged residents to take advantage of the police control room numbers in reporting suspicious activities. Meanwhile, in a matter of days, dignitaries from across the globe will troop into the Federal Capital Territory to participate in handing over ceremony between democratic dispensations in a view of what the measures are in place to provide the needed security. Correspondent Onutu Yakubu brings us insights.
Show of force, covert and overt intelligence drive, stop and search as well as sweepers raking operation have been in high supply recently across the FCT. Abuja presently is the most sought-after location in Nigeria. In matter of days, dignitaries and diplomats from all walks of life will converge on the Federal Capital Territory to witness Nigeria take further democratic milestone, and the police formations in the nation's capital says nothing will be left to chance. However, confidence and expectations are high amongst residents in the provision of the needed security.
I believe, to my own expectation, that the city government is on top of the security situation. As has to do with the FCT, the Federal Capital Territory, I'm expecting the government to do all that within their best ability possible to ensure a smooth handing over ceremony.
Kompo Haruna Garba, set up a sting team. Those teams to go around and just for constant raiding and also to flush out all those illegal shanties. Yes, and also we have reactivated our blockage. That is, the entire Eagle Square is going to be cordoned.
This is the Eagle Square, the magnificent national open event arena. In days to come will be no-go area to individuals who have no business being around this facility. The measure is part of proactive efforts by security agencies to curtail any excesses that may lead to the threat of the security of the event before, during, and after. ACP Magawata say.
And now let's join the business desk for business news.
Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has increased its monetary policy interest rate to 18.5%. Hello and many thanks for joining me on Business News this week again. I am Aisha Uba Ali. Nigerians can now request their commercial banks to provide them with a debit card which doubles as their national identity card at no extra cost than the normal fees charged for debit cards. This is as the Federal Executive Council approved a memo from the National Identity Management Commission allowing banks to print debit cards that double as national identity cards. It is going to be a form of multi-purpose card where it will serve as a national identity card on one hand and a bank card on the other hand, either MasterCard, Visa, or any other kind of card, says the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Pantami, who addressed State House correspondents after Wednesday's valedictory meeting of the Federal Executive Council at the Aso Villa, Abuja. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has increased its monetary policy interest rate to 18.5%. CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele stated this while reading the communique of the third MPC meeting of the year. Addressing journalists at the end of the two-day meeting in Abuja, Mr. Emefiele said the committee voted to keep the asymmetric corridor. The MPR justifying the rising inflation rate. The MPC also blamed the high energy cost and challenges around the supply chain, which are beyond the reach of the CBN. That's the size of our package this week. The news continues shortly.
And now to Sports Brief.
President of Badminton Federation of Nigeria BFN Francis Obi ESQ has been elected as a council member into the Badminton Confederation Africa BCA at the World Congress. You will recall he earlier sought for 2 tenure in 2021 but lost. He however backed a 4-year tenure this time. The feat has been applauded by many as Nigeria would get to be among those making the game's world decisions. Meanwhile, another Nigerian, Philip Solomon of Grammar School Akure, Ondo State, has been declared the Guinness World Record holder for most skips on one foot for a record 30 seconds. The 17-year-old lad on January 24 officially recorded 153 skips on one foot in 30 seconds to outdo former record holder Rasul Islam of Bangladesh 145. Chelsea had their chances of staying off relegation zone dampened as they lost to Manchester United in a 4-1 goal thriller. With only one match left to end the season's campaign, they have managed to earn just 43 points so far in 37 matches played. With Sports Brief, Gideon Yohana, NTA News.
And just before we go, a recap of some top stories. Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal filed by the PDP challenging the nomination of the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima. President Buhari has conferred national honors on the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima. And that's the news. We thank you for watching. Do have a very good afternoon.